Hey guys, and welcome back to Thomas Talks Cars. This is the Mazda 6e, and in this video I'm going to give you a walk around tour of the car, show you what it's like in the interior, and then get out on the road for a test drive. So stay tuned for this video. And because it's the press day, we do have a press pack here. So the rear motor is rear wheel drive. We've got 245 PS, 320 Newton meters of torque from that electric motor, saying it's an 80 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery, capable of DC charging at 90 kilowatts. So they're saying it's going to be about 47 minutes to get from 10% to 80% charge. Of course, you can use a three-phase 11 kilowatt AC charger. And they're saying 0 to 100% is about 8.4 hours with this car is configured. Now 0 to 60 in this car is about 7.8 seconds and a top speed of 108 miles per hour. They're saying combined range for this car is claimed at 343 miles. And energy consumption, they're saying 16.5 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometres combined. Now we do have McPherson strut suspension up front with multi-link in the rear. These are 245/45 R19s, 19-inch alloy wheels riding on Michelin E-Primacy tyres. They are kind of all filled out that aerodynamic style, so we do have the diamond cut on the top with them pretty much filled out in the inside of this kind of spoke, so it's the kind of only design we've got of this Takumi Plus model. Do have the 360 cameras visible on the mirrors there, and then we've got a little Mazda emblem there on the side of the door card. You're going to notice the flush door handles. Overall profile of the car is quite slow pace, which is nice to see for a car. Do you know it's not another electric SUV? Big glass roof in this model, and a charging port up the rear where you can get your AC and DC charging. Now let's check out the back of the car. So this is the back of the Mazda 6e, or Mazda 6. Now you can see I've deployed the rear spoiler in this car just to kind of give you a look at what it looks like. We do have a bar light running across the middle. It does have a rhombus print on top of it, kind of emulates what we've seen in that front grille. Of course, it says Mazda spelling in the back, since it's been a trend these days. Our manufacturer's got the logo and spelling out in the rear. We do have these tail lights, which Mazda say are inspired by the Mazda 3 and the Mazda RX-7. Let you comment below what you think those tail lights look like there. Again, this will press the red paint in today's explosive sunshine. Black gloss plastic at the rear, and then we do have parking sensors. It's kind of like texturized bit of plastic here, and then a little bit more kind of grey plastic going down here. We do have the reverse camera under the Z, and then under the A is where you're going to find the electronic tailgate button. So to Takumi Plus model, we do have it for the tailgate. We're looking at about 466 litres of boot space with that tailgate. Alright, you join me in the back of the Mazda 6e. Now I'm 5'11", knee room a couple of inches there. My head is touching the top of the ceiling, so that's a little bit of a disappointment. We do have a sunroof, but that's a little bit further ahead where I'm going to sit. Foot room's tight, the floor's flat, but it is quite high, so I can't get my feet underneath the seat in front of me there. And my knees are a little bit a bent angle, but there is seating for free. It is quite a large vehicle, so I could plump myself into the middle there and perch myself. I guess if I rolled the sunshade back, I'd have a little bit more room. But yes, for my 5'11" self, it's not the first car to get into for rear comfort room. We do have ISOFIX points in the rear, as well as, this is a little bit harder to get. I wish they put like a wee tab or something to pull that down. Pull down the armrest, you do have your two cup holders in there. We've also got mat pockets. It says Mazda on the rear of the seats, and we do have electric window switches. Reasonable material back here. Do you know it's not super scratchy plastic everywhere, just some of the kind of 2/3 down the top has definitely got a little bit of that suede material back here. Again, it's bordering that premium to premium luxury segment. We do have a little screen here. We can open things like the rear shades, and then we can put on the seat, we can move that backwards and forwards. Now we do have climate control vents there. We can turn that on and off and change the temperature, fan speed. It is all touch capacitive, but you do have that capability if you want to for the rear passengers. And then down below is your USB-C port, and there's a little bit of storage in there, maybe to put a wallet or something. But yeah, a little bit of storage in the door bins, and it's pretty adequate back here for a kind of hatchback saloon-esque style vehicle. So you join me up front in the cabin of the Mazda 6 Electric. Now what you're going to notice is we've got this tan interior continuing all through the cabin. It's in black trim. This is the Takumi Plus model, so it's the top of the range. We'll find the panoramic roof, Sony sound system, everything's pretty much electric. And what you're going to notice, unlike other Mazda models, this is a departure, we do have almost no physical buttons to touch or interact with. Gone is a rotary knob, no buttons for climate control, etc. It's all done through this touchscreen here. Now this is where that deep palette influence is going to be, because the Mazda can't really change too much with it, but you are able to customize and change a lot of features in it. Like we can open and close the blind, you can close all, and you can see the graphics there. We're able to adjust the seats all by the touch of a button. We do have other shortcuts down here as well, so you can have your heated and ventilated seats, climate control, but what you are able to do is pull down and you've got things from your vehicle settings to local apps, so that's where your Android Auto and Apple CarPlay and that exist. You can edit that and you can switch them around, so if you do want to change those little icons down below, they kind of vibrate and shake left to right when they're ready, and you can replace them with things like your radio or Apple CarPlay or any of the other vehicle settings that you might want to switch. Instead of having like your ventilated heated seats, you might say I want ambient lighting there. So it does give you that customization to you. Just below the screen we do have two climate vents, and we've got two on one on each side of the passenger and one for the driver. In the centre we do have one wireless phone charger. This is European spec, it's on the left hand side. We will see if they move it to the right hand side for the British cars. Two cup holders here. It is surrounded by this kind of like full wood trim and a lot of plastic, and then you're going to notice there's like Mazda emblem on the side here. You push that and that pops open the centre cubby. Now it is lined with fuzzy stuff, there is rubber under there. I have noticed the action is quite vigorous the way it opens up. We do have a floating console in the centre here with a little bit of storage. It seems to be the trend with electric cars. The steering wheel itself, we do have black on the outside, tan on the inside. Two favourite buttons, so we can set them up. So this one's set up so you've got your headlights on right hand side's favourite, left hand side is where your wipers are going to be, because again the wipers are controlled through the screen in the centre. Now like Tesla and some of the Genesis and Hyundai products, when you indicate you do get your blind spot camera popping up in the centre here, which I think is pretty cool, and I like when cars have that. So it means when you've got good visibility in general, but when you're looking you can see your cameras pop up. Gear selectors on the column, a little bit like Mercedes and some other products there, so it kind of alleviates the centre of the cabin here. Much more room up here than there is in the rear. I'm 5'11" and I can slide the seat low down and get myself pretty comfortable back here. Now I do want to mention that the two types of batteries you can get for this car, you can get a 68.8 kilowatt hour LFP battery, which is the smaller standard range, or an NMC 80 kilowatt hour battery. Now interestingly, you get 299 miles claimed range of the smaller battery, 345 miles with this 80 kilowatt hour battery we've got today. Now they do say you get 258 brake horsepower from the motor on the lesser, like standard range one, or 245 brake horsepower with this version. Also charging differs. The lower standard battery at 68.8 is 165 kilowatts to charge, so that's a little bit more rapid, about 24 minutes to fill that one. So it's 90 kilowatts for the long range 80 kilowatt hour battery, which is 47 minutes to charge. So if you go for the cheaper one with the standard range, you get less range, faster charging and more power. But if you go for the longer range, you get less power and less charging, like tops like kilowatt hour peak charging rate. So you do need to keep that in mind when you're looking at this vehicle. There is a slight difference there. I am curious if people go for the long range or go for the slightly shorter range but maybe charge more frequently. We will see when people buy them next year. Now the cameras in this car are pretty clear. We've got a nice 360 camera popping up, which we can hit a 3D model. It pops up, you can see the car, we can control mirrors. Well, that's control the mirror controls. Interesting, can play around with that. And if I hit 2D, we can bring up the camera quality, which, yeah, you can get that kind of view if you want it to pull together. I do like the 3D models, I think that's quite smart. I don't want to ramble on too much, but hopefully you can take away that this car is one for somebody that wants an electric car that's not an SUV, and maybe you want a Mazda, or maybe this is maybe the car for you if you want an electric car. You like the look of a Mazda, but you haven't liked the traditional Mazda interior, because this is such a step away from Mazdas that we know, with everything being on that touchscreen. This could be the car for you if you like your gadgets and being able to configure things. This could be the vehicle for you. It's just probably one of the lesser feeling Mazdas that I have been in, just even with the feel of the steering wheel and some of the componentry in here. Now a lot of the controls are through that touchscreen, so it takes a moment to get used to. Probably best to use that while stationary. Just purely trying to switch between modes and turn things off is a little bit more difficult when you're on the go. Now driving, the car feels, I've got it in sports mode, so it's definitely got a little bit more eager and throttle and punch to it. We do have a normal mode to settle things down, as well as an individual if you want to customise things to your own needs and requirements. But yes, that is my take on the new Mazda 6 electric. So I just want to say a special thanks for watching this Mazda 6e video. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel below, comment your thoughts on the new all-electric Mazda 6, and yeah, a special thanks to Mazda UK for having me in the first drive of this vehicle. I'll see you guys next video. Ciao.